Wayne Gossy.
Hello.
Okay, darling, what is the nickname? You know, like, let's say I was an intimate old friend of yours. Would it be Wayne Gossy or Goss?
It would actually be Gossy.
Gossy.
Yeah.
Gossy's nice. I mean, I went to Gossy third. So Gossy's good. Good lighting, Wayne. Good lighting.
Thanks. I'm literally sat right in front of the window, but I pulled the blinds down.
No, I had to think about what I'd wear with you today. I don't know about you.
I thought I'd do a nod back to what not to wear, so hence finding the brightest thing I could possibly find.
I mean, can I just say the orange is pretty marvelous, and you've got it with charcoal grey.
Well,
dove grey.
I mean, literally, it's like it's my pajamas. In all honesty.
Is it really? Do you sleep in that way?
My t-shirt, and I'm in my sort of jogging bottoms.
Okay,
as well.
stand up. Let's see what's underneath. Come on.
I swear to God, just jogging bottoms and a t-shirt.
Fantastic.
I'm just so well put together at all times.
You are just like, is there a basis? I know, I mean, we want to discuss many things. I don't know where to start. So I'm just going to go at left field, which is usually where I come in. But do you have a base? Because when I looked at your videos, I noticed everything is spick and span. So can we just talk about anal retention first from every level?
Go for it.
Yeah. So how anal are you?
So I like to have everything incredibly tidy.
Yeah.
Not to the point where you're having a nosebleed because there's something out, but
yeah.
I find that I'm not able to think properly or relax if there is just shit everywhere.
I mean, you know, the thing I fell in love with you the first was actually how tidy you were. Before I started to hear you talk. For those of people on my channel who haven't heard about you, which I'm sure is very few people, Wayne, but Wayne is kind of renowned, relatively reclusive, yet very vocal. It's kind of a combination I might use for you.
I'm very reclusive.
You stay in your man cave is it in Wales or Somerset? Where are you based?
I was born in Somerset, but I moved to Wales about 22 years ago.
Okay, so you're there, but it's not that people don't come knocking at your door saying, please try my product, because you're honest, you're objective, and you say it how it is.
Yeah, and I also, I mean, you are right. I am a bit of a recluse. I don't enjoy large companies of people. Find it very uncomfortable. Yeah. And so it's like I never ever go to anything ever. It's like no one ever asks me anymore because they know that I'm just going to say, Joe, give it a miss.
Yeah, I've got to say I've never been one to socialize myself in my work environment in any of my careers. When I was on telly, I couldn't bear to socialize with people in the television world. And I think probably I'd made my life before Wayne. You know, there's something about that because you're not 20.
No.
So there is something in, you know, I was 35 before I even did What Not to Wear. I'd done a column, you know, for years in the Telegraph, but, you know, that kind of different kind of being known. And I didn't know. I had my friendship groups. I had my life.
I remember, it's a total throwback. I think it's a throwback to Oprah Winfrey show.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it was your first sort of, it was their first experience of you both in America. And I remember it so well because you were very handsy and very touchy and very full on. And I remember that interview so well because it made me, I was so in love with the whole, just how you just couldn't care less. You're just groping at them and grabbing them and showing them what to do and what to wear. I loved that. I loved it.
You know, I remember those Oprahs so well, Wayne, because I remember when I first went on, we went on about 8 times. The first time we went on, I was incredibly nervous and we were going on to talk about mom jeans, but we were also selling a book. And so we went on the show and what she does is you sit on the stage first and then she comes in. So that's like, that shows, if it was Tom Cruise, she'd be sitting and then Tom Cruise would come in. So we kind of knew we were lowly little ants, all right? But during it, she kind of, I felt her warm to us because we hadn't met her before. We just met the kind of research people. And she sort of warmed to us a bit and she was quite charming and she patted Susanna on the knee a bit. You know, we know how much she loves Gail. And she had a soft spot for Susanna. And so then, you know, from that, our book went to #1 in New York. On the New York Times bestseller list. I mean, from that one show. And then we got invited back. And then on the 4th show, she was sitting and we were allowed to come in. And it was
You've
like,
made it. You'd officially made it.
yeah. But she was, you know, she's a phenomenon. She still is a phenomenon. I watch her interviews on Facebook. But can we get into some meat of some product first?
Go
When
for
I
it.
set you this challenge of your 5 favorite products, Wayne, how hard was it?
Not hard at all because I'm a creature of habit.
Okay, all right.
So what I tried to do with this was to not go to my always the 5 that everybody would think that I would necessarily gravitate towards. So it's
Okay.
slightly different in this respect. Do you
want to do one and then I'll do one? In
go
case we
for
have
it?
some of the same. I don't know if we'll have some of the same.
Go for it. You want me to go first? Do you?
Yeah, it's guest first.
Oh,
Family
okay.
hold back. FHB.
So first one is this is a new product. It's by Supergoop and it's called Unseen Sunscreen. And normally sunscreens with me, I only wear mineral ones because I find chemical ones just burn.
Yeah.
This didn't. It's chemical and it literally is a primer. That's all it is. It's a primer with an SPF 30, completely invisible. Everything adheres to it. And if you're really greasy and oily like me, it's an absolute godsend. It's amazing. Amazing.
So it's not shiny. It's slightly matte.
Yeah, it's very silicone based and it goes on like an oil slick to begin with and then there's nothing. It's like you put nothing on. It's extraordinary.
Fabulous. Is it at all like Murad's Invisible Blur SPF 30 with the silicone?
It's very similar, except this really feels more like a traditional face primer.
Okay.
It's more...
And it's white, not clear.
Yeah, and this one is completely see-through. It's transparent, so any skin tones, it just goes on.
Yeah,
amazing.
Great. Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to start with the newest friend in my skincare wardrobe because I've been using it, Wayne, I've been using it only for a week because for me, I use things for 10 years and then I say they're good, okay? But I immediately saw the impact and it's so goddamn expensive.
Go for it.
Because I was using Tretinoin, okay, which I get from my American pharmacy. But because it's raw retinol, there's no pampering effect, you know, in any way. And then this, which is the Medicate. It's like a fucking god!
Yeah, I've got it in my wardrobe.
Because you know what? It's that mixture. The formula is so good because I don't wake up feeling dry. And afterwards, I put on the peptide.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that retinol peptide complex combination is like my new friend. I mean, I would nearly then try that again with the peptide on top. But this is a magical formula, Wayne.
And Medicate, they're such a nice company. They're nice people.
It's important.
Help. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's really important. I'm going to actually chat to one of the chemists next week. But just so people know, it's Retinoate, the youth activating serum. It's like amazing. £223. It's the most expensive retinol I've ever had. But it was like, if you haven't bought clothes and you haven't done your bus pass and you're not going on the tube and you're not going out for drinks, it could add up. Give me your next, darling.
So we'll talk about exactly the same thing almost. So again, it would be Tretinoin, but this one's by Dermatica.
Yeah, I want to understand Dermatica. Yes, I'm so happy you're doing this. Yes.
So they're a prescription-based, monthly-based company that offer Tretinoin products, obviously in their neat strengths. But this company adds a bit of buffering, so they will add things like niacinamide and other things depending on your complexion. But again, it's really, as you know, it's really strong stuff, and it can take your skin off if you're not careful with it. But I love it. I'm very funny about skincare. I use one single thing at night, and that's it. And that's Tretinoin. I don't bother pissing around with everything else. Yeah. But I do put a moisturizer over it because otherwise your skin is horrific.
Yeah. Tell me something. Again, when you say they made the blend for you, can you pick like from one of 3 things, or do you say your skin condition and then they put it in? How does it? How personalized is it really?
It's relatively personalized in that they will ask you what your skin concerns are, whether it's aging or oily skin or blemishes or acne or blackheads, and then they will tailor something. So they may say, well, you actually need azelaic acid, you don't need Tretinoin, or you need a different product. And they're very good in that regard. But again, a lot of people can't use tretinoin. It's too irritating to their
Yeah.
skin. And the other one, which is in the same category, would be Dr. Sam Bunting. And this is the Nightly Serum, which is retinol at 1%.
Yeah.
But it's got very high levels of niacinamide in it, peptides. She stuck everything in there.
Yeah.
So you've got that kind buffering to it. And she's a lovely person. She's lovely.
Yeah, I did meet her. I liked her. I didn't like her day cream, I'm having to say, because I found it, but the thing is, I think it was if you're very sensitive skin and you want something with nothing in it. But I think her cleanser is just really great clean. So I haven't tried the Nightly yet, Wayne. I'm going to try it now. Just to let everyone know, at the end, Wayne and I will lift everything up again so you can all see, because my camera's back to front, Wayne, and I think yours might be too. And it's just frustrating otherwise for people that they're like, well, what was that? It was too quick. And I think what we'll try and do is we could list them at the end as well.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that. And I'm sorry, I just need to go through as we go. Somebody's saying trying the ordinary. I mean, the ordinary retinol, let's just diverge for a second. I want to ask you honestly, Wayne, because I know every single person who follows both of us is on a different budget. But
Yes.
to what extent do you believe that you would, you know, if you're going to introduce retinol to your regime, would you just say, actually, that's where you spend the money, the ordinary, it's very raw, or would you say, yeah? What's your thoughts?
I find the ordinary I mean, I was kind of there at the beginning of the brand, along with Victoria's Health and all of that kind of stuff. And so the ordinary has sort of moved away from me, so to speak, since that period of time. I still think they're very affordable products. The Inky List do also incredibly affordable products.
That was, in fact, one of the women who was at the ordinary.
And they have a little bit, oh, was it? And they have a little bit more.
Well, not the ordinary, sorry.
Buffering.
She was at Indeed Labs. Wasn't she?
Right.
Yeah, I think she was at Indeed Labs, yeah.
But I mean, I do think, I always think that if something really, really works, it's a prescription. It's, you're never going to find it.
For sure.
But 1% retinol can make a huge difference in the way your skin looks. But I also think you're not going to look 12 after it either.
No, the expectation of women, I think, because it's like, I sell something called Miracle Blur, which blurs your lines.
I have it.
Okay, and it's a phenomenal product. Occasionally women think it will remove their lines like Botox, having done it for 5 years, you know. So,
If
and I
only.
think it's because I talk about it with such passion. The expectation is very high, and for me, I'm saved by it daily. But if there is that, it's like, what do you expect products to do? And I remember, because Wayne, you and I both had very bad acne, I think, when we were younger. I had it from 13 to 30. And I remember when I was about 19, which was many more years ago than when you were 19, my doctor did prescribe me Retin A, the original, you know, that original first vitamin A derivative. And it was that bright yellow. It really stank. It was quite a high percentage. My face burned off, you know. So I know that only prescription really works. But I think compared to what was out there then, that was non-prescription, compared to now, there are so many things that with continual use, and it's like other things that I'm always interested by. Sorry, I'm diversing, Wayne, but if I've got it here, 1 second. It's another bloody Medicaid product. But I love copper amino isolate. Okay, I love copper. I think it's just this channel. I think you like copper too. I don't, but that's because it irritates my skin for some reason. And Brandon used to try and understand why I couldn't tolerate it. We never got to it. We never knew why. But I think I was going to say, when you have two things together, so this is a copper with peptides, but it's just the opportunity now that by having two things together, they become more active and they can be sold without a prescription, I mean, I think there's possibilities there that we get closer to, because some people don't have a doctor who would say, hey, I'll write you a prescription for Tretinoin. You know, it's not the easiest thing in the world. So when you or Caroline Hirons or Dean or any of these people say Tretinoin, whatever, you know, a lot of people have doctors who just say no.
I think people think that if you're on a prescription-based Tretinoin product, it's going to get rid of your wrinkles. It isn't.
No. Yeah.
You're going to have those wrinkles. They may look marginally better, but you're not going to get the effect of a filler or a Botox or anything like that. It's more about
Yeah.
skin longevity and health.
Yeah, exactly. This will be saved, everyone. Don't worry, it will be saved. We'll put it on IGTV. Okay, Wayne, your next product.
What have I got? Oh, okay. So we'll do a shameless one in a minute. So next one is Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Bella Sophia palette.
Yeah.
Also known as Dolce Vita.
Yeah.
And I love it.
What are the colors?
The red russet tones, very similar to what it looks like you have on your eyes, that russet tone.
Yeah.
I may know that eye shape.
You may know that, but nobody else will know that yet.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Wonderful. So yeah, and I love those. I don't buy into the whole necessarily, well, if you've got green eyes, you need this color, and if they're blue, I think you should just wear whatever makes you happy.
Well, I mean, I just,
and be done with
me, I'm like, I believe it's more than just about your eye color. You see, I'm the other end of the scale, because I think you can have green eyes that are dark green and green eyes that are light green. You can be cool toned or warm toned. And so just making it universal, I think, is an easier way, because before that there was nothing. But I think there's so many women who don't know how to get the balance with their makeup, you know, or maybe they think, you know, I love that eyeshadow, I want to wear it. And I just think some people wear things and they think, I know there's something wrong here, but I don't know what it is, you know.
And you and I share a mutual friend who has the hugest color chart on eyes, which is Ray Morris.
Oh, Ray, how much do we love Ray?
She's such a fun person.
She's my favorite makeup artist.
She is lovely.
We share a passion too for Kevin O'Con, because he was the only makeup artist that you know, apart from, I don't really know makeup artists. I mean, I vaguely know Charlotte, but like just socially, and Mary Greenwell, you know, or Greenwell, I never know how to pronounce her name, but she did my makeup. She did my makeup for a few shoots. But I think that for me, it's that, and this is really tricky, Wayne, because you have amazing brushes, but I think that there's a really important thing for me about women touching their face and understanding their skin, so that they don't go crazy and camouflage and mask the whole of, like, you know, you and I spend forever getting a really good skincare routine, and then to put a thick load of foundation on with a brush or with something else, that kind of horrifies me, you know.
I always like I like a really dramatic eye or a really dramatic lip, but I always want the skin to look like nothing, like there's nothing on there ever. Yeah. Because I love that look. And I know that now on Instagram and YouTube, it's a very heavy makeup look in terms of base and powder, and each to their own. But for me, I always think you look your most beautiful when there is barely anything on the skin. It's just your skin, but a little bit better.
Don't you think times are changing? I do feel a shift, Wayne, from that baked, caked,
I hope so.
You know, I really do feel that, because I have on Trinny London, there's quite a few younger girls who buy into the brand. And I think it's the younger girls who think, I don't want to do that look. You know, I don't want to be like my friends. And there's definitely in every age group, there's different attitudes.
You have your concealer foundation in the pot, right?
Yeah.
And see, to me, that is all you need to cover the skin. A few dots, and then shoe shine it on, and then you can just go in on the areas that need it. Not everything has to have the same coverage. Yeah. It's bizarre to me. But each to their own, you know? Each to their own, exactly.
No hate. Okay. Have I got another product to show you? Yes, I'm going to show you one I love so much. This is something, Wayne, I've had for, probably I've used this brand since I remember I still had bad acne.
Go for it.
I used their cleansing, not pumice, but it's like thing, but it's Dr. Hauschka.
Oh, right.
And Dr. Hauschka, I remember I found it in Beverly Hills at a pharmacy, which then, at a store, which then became what we know as Fresh and Wild. But then it was called something else, and it was the first one, or, you know, one of the first ones. And I remember seeing it next to the vegetables, and my stepsister, half-sister, bought this rose cream, which was quite heavy. And so I bought their toning lotion, and then I bought this. But I forgot how much I loved it, because it's a silly little thing, nearly goes to Charlotte Tilbury's serum and the crystals, but they, I didn't watch that, but they wouldn't let people pick the plants and flowers unless they were in a good mood. So when this company began, there was this whole thing about put the good energy into the ingredients. And it was a really strong thing for Mr. and Mrs. Hauschka. So I just love that. And this is actually a very nice, they have a quince one, but I love this. It's an
Oh, God
old-fashioned.
love them for saying that. Yeah. That's just the sweetest thing.
So sweet. So
you can go home now. You've got a bad attitude. Don't pick those rose petals.
Oh my God. But the smell is also, you know, when some smells, like you said, you use products for a long time, Wayne, that it brings you back so many memories, nostalgic memories. And I like to have memories around me and lots of things. But
it's lovely.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Show me your next one, darling.
So we'll do a shameless.
Let's do a shameless plug.
Trinny London plug.
Oh, God, that's sweet of you. Yeah.
So I think I've spoken about it before, but I own about 95% of everything you've ever made.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So I have a lot of product, all your eyes, all your lips, all your cheeks, almost all the foundations. But the one that I really like the most is Dido.
Oh.
So if you want that glass effect skin, then Dido is your friend. It's got this microfine shimmer in it, which is really not horrifically detectable. But you get this glass-like effect wherever it's applied. So minimal foundation, a little bit, boom.
So you put it then all over the cheek, like?
I will put it anywhere I would like there to be this gorgeous kind of shine. So sometimes on the cheek, sometimes on the high point of the face. I quite like applying a tiny bit just above the arch of the eyebrow.
God, I love your tricks, Wayne.
It's just such a pretty product. And everybody wants that glassy effect. And because you can just pop it exactly where you need it, you don't have to look like it's all over the face. When you turn, the light hits that area, and when you don't, it's gone again. Beautiful.
I love the way you've given me a new way to do it. I'm going to do it my whole cheek now. I love that. Oh, I put too much up there, but I love that idea, Wayne. Thank you.
It's such a pretty product. And because it's got that, it's like a gold fleck running through it.
Yeah.
And it's so subtle that you see it in the jar, but when it's on the skin, it's barely noticeable. But you get that movement in light.
Did you get Bunny yet? Because Bunny is even clearer.
Yeah, I've got Bunny.
You have got it, because Bunny is even less pink. And I'm going to do that with Bunny too. Bunny's named after my daughter, Wayne.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
she's my little
nice
bunny.
Is that?
She's my little bunny. Thank you, darling. I want to do a shameless plug for you, but I don't have any of your brushes yet or anything. So send me some of your brushes, will you? Because then I'll definitely... I'm going to do another one. And I just started using this. This is quite a new one. It's Wildsmith. Do you know?
I've never heard of this. Never.
It's a kind of, you know, a nut. It's like there must be one of these a month that launches of that slightly independent, well, kind of organic, not quite sure, but you feel it might be brand. You know, there's a few of them like this. But I think what I like about this cleanser, I don't know if you ever tried Evolve's melting balm, which is like it's like a gel and a balm had a baby.
No, I don't believe so.
Because I kind of do all my makeup removal with the gel balmy moment, and then I do a sort of lactic acid from Julia Hunter. She's an American woman. She has this cleanser, which is like the best cleanser in the entire world. But I use that first, and it's so, you know, that feeling when you want to nurture your skin and just have that moment of taking your makeup off and nurturing. It's great.
Your skin looks absolutely shockingly amazing.
The skin's all right. I have got on
incredible
a couple of new things, but yeah. I have here, Wayne, which is really nice. I have a window here, and so I always do my lives in the afternoon when I get the afternoon light. I'm very particular, because if I did this in the morning, I wouldn't get that lovely even light. And I have a screen on top of the window, so it doesn't give that hard light. So it's like better than any ring light to me.
See, I think we need to have your entire skincare morning and nighttime routine, because you still look like you're 12, and that's a hard thing.
I take care, you know, if we go back to this thing of what spots do to your self-worth.
Yeah.
And, you know, that I think much harder for a boy growing up because you can't cover it. I covered it with quantities of very bad fake tan. I think that's why I don't like fake tan anymore, because I just feel it kills my pores. How do you feel about fake tan, Wayne?
I'm not a fan at all. We used to have these awful, you know, you get this awful battle with either a bride or prom, and they would sort of say, this is what I want. And I'd be like, well, if you really want to stand out, don't do fake tan. You'll be the only one there that's not orange. You will stand out. You'll look amazing. Oh.
What do they say? Do they get it?
Sometimes they, oftentimes not, but years later, because I like to befriend really nice people, they'll come back and they'll say, maybe we shouldn't have fake tan. Yeah, you know, if you're pale, you're pale. Who cares? You look great. We spent all this money on sunscreen to not tan, and then to go out and try and look like we tanned. I don't get it.
And I think because however many fake tans come out, and I just, you know, I can't say how often I've said how much I dislike fake tan, and yet still PRs tried to send me fake tan, and I'm like, just please, you know, I don't like being sent stuff anyway, but especially you send me fake tan, I'll send it back to you now. But I think there's something I used to use. I don't know, Wayne, you were probably 4 at this stage, but when I was about 15, I'll go to Boots, and there was a number 7 mousse. You probably weren't born when I was 15, but there was a number 7 mousse fake tan. And I used to get this dirty old sponge, and I would just do my whole body because I wanted to cover the spots. And it was literally like a margarita pizza that was raw. You know, that's how it all looked. And then I'll go and stay in the country with friends. And my mum would be called up by their parents saying, look, next time can Trinny bring her own sheets? Because it's like the Turin shroud when she's left. There's this body inside
afterwards. I mean, I mentioned this on a video for people that love fake tanning, and many years ago, I was with Charlotte, and I'd used this fake tan, and it was awful, but regardless, the brand, the company, and she said, oh, is that a real tan? I said, no, it's from a bottle. And she was like, well, why does it look the way it looks? As in, it looked relatively real. And I was like, because I put red food dye in it. Because when you go out in the sun, you will always get some form of burn with the tan, because that is what it is. And a tan is red based, and fake tans are either olive or orange based. So you just put a few drops of red food coloring in the fake tan, and voila, it looks more realistic.
I mean, fantastic. That is such a good tip. But I think people need to be careful with the amount of red food dye.
Oh yeah, they'll put the whole bottle in.
Yeah, and that it stains your fingers.
Oh, it does. Stains your skin too, but you'll look gorgeous.
But you'll look gorgeous, so who gives a fuck? Darling, let's answer a few little questions, because there's a few that come on. Esme. Yeah. My sweet Esme is here, who's got questions for us, Wayne.
Okay.
So I think that, you know, there were a few questions. So when will your products be available in LA? Susan's asking, Wayne, do you ship to LA? I don't know if it's for you or me, this one.
Oh, should we both answer?
Yeah, we ship internationally, but we don't stock in LA.
Yeah, and my products are stocked in the US and they ship worldwide.
Fantastic. That's great. And that's waynegoss.com?
No, it's Beautylish. They're the stockists for me. Okay. And they stock all the brushes and the makeup and all of that kind of stuff.
Fantastic. All right, darling. Okay, so Esme, give us some questions.
Okay, so a lot of people wrote in asking about where to start with contouring.
Where to start with contouring, Wayne? I mean, you know, let's just be really frank. We're not going to upset these people, but like, what do you honestly think about contouring?
I feel like I dug myself into a hole because I've done a huge amount of videos on it. And I think if it's done subtly, you should never see it. Yeah. And I think that the one thing I like to say is there's nothing wrong with your nose. There's nothing wrong with your cheeks or your chin. They do not need contouring ever. But if you want to, please don't let it be visible. Yeah. Ever. I mean, I agree. I mean, I think that for me, I mix 2 colors. I mix Kate and Swala. I always go here. That's a bit of my contour now. And then what Ray taught me to do recently, I mean, I never did this. It's like, you know, I'm age 56. I'm learning something new every day, Wayne. But I'm just going to do it because you've got products there and you could do it. But I take a tiny bit of each
But anyway, I'm starting there, and then I go up a tiny bit like a J.
Yep.
And I'd never done that before, Wayne, you know, of just so that and then to put a bit of slightly paler over here, because to have it too low
The
down,
contrast, yeah.
you want it to feel it's just your bloody amazing inherited bone structure.
Yeah.
You're right, you shouldn't see it.
I think when it's visible, as in truly, because a contour in effect is a shadow, the shadow that would be created if you had visible bones on the skin. And I think, well, if you don't have visible bones, you aren't really fooling anybody into believing that that you have them. But you can shape a face beautifully with just blusher and foundation and concealer, without having to you know, go to the route of striping the face. It's not easy to do. It really isn't.
No, and I'm with you on it. I've never seen really a successful full-on contour. I just don't enjoy it that much. So subtlety better. I think we're very aligned on that. Okay, Esme, next one, and let's try and get 5 in, because you and I could chat for hours in detail, microscopically, about each subject, and I'm worse than you on this. So we're gonna answer in 20 seconds, Wayne. Okay, next one. Esme?
Should highlighter and shimmer be avoided if you've got really bad acne scarring?
Interesting.
Yes, because it will make them stand out and be more prominent, but no if you don't give a shit and you just want shiny cheeks.
I'd kind of agree with exactly what he said. Next one.
Tips for controlling the application of cream eyeshadows.
You'd be good on this. This is you.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think that it depends entirely. You've got to get one that has a very good mixture of pigment and oil, and you don't want slippage. So there needs to be enough pigment that it doesn't kind of unevenly show it. But I always, just as a fail-safe, if it's a pale color, I always start here and I just blend out, and I just take my finger and I go back and forth. If it's a darker shade, I put some on my finger and then I take a bit off, because otherwise I'm gonna, like with a brush, and then I'll really start gently and I'll go back and forth with my finger, and it will blend. I mean, the joy to me of a cream, well, that's why everything's cream based, but you know, I made so many mistakes, Wayne, over the years with powder and just putting it in, putting too much on the brush, not budging, you know, so yeah.
And you get to do your eyes, you can do your face first without worrying about fallout.
Yeah, exactly.
All of those things are avoided, and it's easier to clean up than powder. As in, if you make a mistake, you can correct it easier.
Yeah, and if you want to do that concealer, you know, like when I did this eye today, I had it right out here, right down here, but just getting my concealer and it was gone.
I watched the video, I think, where Ray was going over the eye-fi technique with you as well.
Yeah. And that's just such a fantastic technique.
And she only uses creams now.
Yeah. Okay, next one, Esme.
Can you use like a cream or liquid bronzer over powder foundation?
Yes, if you really want to, but I certainly would never recommend it because it will drag.
Yeah, it's going to drag. I mean, also, why are you using a powder foundation? I mean, this is something I'd also like to throw out, which is I love Bare Minerals as a brand, but this kind of, you know, the habit, I think I probably meet so many women, Wayne, in their 40s and maybe 50s, who started with something like Bare Minerals, bought it on QVC, or, you know, it's a phenomenal brand. It's done unbelievably well. Great growth, great British brand. But, you know, like that, polishing it in and in and in. And to me, it's like, oh, let's see a wrinkle. No, let's see another wrinkle. No, let's see every single wrinkle on your face.
See, I'm a huge fan of mineral foundations. I know. But for me, it was because A, I was oily.
Yeah, you're oily. You say I'm dry. Yeah.
Yeah. And B, they were undetectable in the beard or any facial hair. And I fell in love with that when I was having acne issues, was where I found Bare Minerals.
Yeah.
And it didn't cling to the hair. And I just thought, fucking hell, this is amazing.
Yeah, I can see that. We are very different sebaceous gland action here.
Mine is pumping it out as we speak. Yeah.
And mine is all put on that glow by something other than my own skin. So I do agree with you. And I would actually add then as a caveat that if you have dry skin, what I say does hold true. And if you have oily skin, what Wayne is saying is totally true. Okay. But still, Wayne is saying, you know, you kind of do a powder and then you do a cream on top, it can be a bit dodgy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next one, Esme.
How do you remove your makeup?
We didn't hear that. Sorry, how do you what?
Remove your makeup.
How do you remove your makeup?
Cleanser and a flannel.
I mean, I don't like micellar water. I use a cleansing balm or something, or I use a, you know, if I had a heavy eye makeup, I use a Lancôme Bienfait or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I don't use makeup in day-to-day life. I just wash my face, put sunscreen on.
Yeah.
But nice flannel, nice cleanser. That's it for me. Don't need anything fancy.
Yeah. Next one, Esme.
How to use blush if you have kind of red cheeks?
This is an interesting one because I think you and I have come across so many women with rosacea, and you know and then they avoid blusher, and you want to just say to them, don't avoid it. So you give your advice because you're a very good makeup artist. So
when you cover any form of redness on the face, so if you want time off work, just wear foundation to work because you will look ill. You have to put something back into the skin, and blusher is the prettiest thing you can do to the face. I never ever be frightened of it, and always go for a blusher that you think is really pretty, as opposed to the whole pinch your cheeks, that's the color you should go, or exercise. You pick whatever makes you happy and makes you look more youthful than without.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I'd say sometimes if you don't usually wear much foundation, in order to be able to put the blusher in the right place, you need to tone down your red caused by the rosacea first. So I do advise using a concealer just gently over it. And then for me, always, I mean, my general rule of thumb, Wayne, is I always go from my nose to the outer corner of my eyeball, and that's where I might put it. None of this, lift your cheeks and then they'll drop, because some people, you know, their cheeks will drop a lot, and some people have Botox. You can't, that's not such a good rule of thumb. But it's like, to me, it's also where your cheek has the most cushion as well, I feel. You know, this cushiony bit is the one you want to highlight with that lovely redness, because it just gives plumped up youth in a pot.
I really like putting blush much higher up, almost just under the eye, because you see that with young children, and it's so pretty and youthful to have it not just on these two round apples.
Yeah, down here can be a doll, up here as a child.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
All right, Esme, next one.
A makeup trend that you hated.
Oh, God, when did I start, Wayne? Come on.
Instagram eyebrows. I hated it.
What were Instagram eyebrows?
It's where there's an incredible fade here, and then they turn into a very harsh point. Not a fan. I find it just hard to look at you don't know where to focus on the face. Yeah. But it's just a personal feeling. Yeah.
For me, it's done so little now, but it was when, you know, there's certain things that came out when there was only one of them. And the first one of that was Touche Éclat, when there was one color, and whatever your skin shade was, you did that pale concealer, and you just look like a panda eye. And the other was MAC Spice lip pencil, because before then we'd never had a lip pencil which we felt was the color of our lips. But then they were putting every other lipstick on it, so you had that line, which was just like did nothing for anyone. Yeah. Next question.
Thanks, please.
Someone was asking if she should buy an anti-aging eye cream or just use the same retinol that she uses all over her face.
So I would just use the retinol. There is nothing underneath your eye that is any different from the rest of your face in terms of skin. It is still skin. It's thinner, but you will be charged 3 times the amount for 3 times less the product.
It's very good advice. The only caveat to that for me is that there's moments when I'm doing my makeup and I felt by the way, I'm going to preempt this is a big plug for me, okay? But
go for it.
Yeah, but I would always be doing my under eye and I'd think, oh, it's a bit dry. Let me just put some moisturizer on before I then do my concealer, because I never found a concealer that was hydrating. So then I kind of thought, can I actually do a formulation that I can create, which is actually a concealer has a baby with an under eye cream gives you in terms of that feel good factor to apply?
Oh God, yeah. And I think there's a difference between using it like at night and using it as part of a prep for your makeup.
Yeah.
I use eye creams as prep, but I can't be bothered to use them on myself for maintenance of anything most of the time.
We are twinned at birth. So separated at birth. Next one, Esme. 2 more.
Is it enough to just put on SPF in the morning, or should we look at reapplying it maybe in the afternoon?
I would just say that there's some all-day SPFs which I don't believe in, because I think there's such strong chemicals in them to make them stay all day long. I know you like mineral, and I'm mineral or chemical. I don't mind, Wayne. But I would say that I probably reapply. If I'm in sunny climates, I'd reapply it 3 times a day. For sure. And if you use any skincare product, which is a makeup hybrid, like my BFF or like anyone who does that, you need double the amount to get the coverage. You need like a 5p coin to get the coverage on your face. Yeah.
I think if you're going to spend most of your time indoors, what you apply in the morning is fine. If you are purposely going to stay outside in the very hot sun, then you need to be slapping that shit on every couple of hours.
Yeah. You said it right. Okay. Yeah. Esme, last one.
The best type of exfoliator for someone with sensitive skin.
The best type of exfoliator, I mean, I would say maybe liquid as opposed to granular, because I think, you know, I have asbestos skin, so I do granular and liquid, Wayne. But I would say liquid, and I would say like January Labs, or something with a soft acid in it, which like a bit of azelaic, a bit of mandelic malic, you know, something really light, which has got no harsh, you know, nothing with glycolic, nothing with silicic, but just gentle.
Yeah, I would say liquid.
Do you know any that you love for sensitive skin?
The Inculus do one with polyhydroxy acids, which are so much kinder to the skin than glycolic or salicylic. And also try and get one that pH is slightly higher, about 4 or 4.5. That will make a big difference in how irritating it is when it's exfoliating.
Yeah. And I'd also say, Esme, that if somebody has sensitive skin and redness in their skin, that is inflammation, and they should be looking at internally what they can do for the inflammation in their skin. So could they be taking zinc, some burdock root, you know, things that would take down inflammation? Are they eating foods that really give inflammation? Because I think things like rosacea can be literally 70% cured by what you put in your body. Just of people I know who've really taken to heart how are they inflaming their skin with their internal mechanism.
Yeah.
Say that, yeah. Okay, next one. No, that was it. Okay, so we'll do a few more from here. Esme, are there any, darling, from the main feed? Okay, this is a big one. I have my answer, but can you use vitamin C and retinol together?
Absolutely. If you want to irritate your skin, I would say go for it.
Yeah.
They're both can be irritating on their own, and combining them can be more, but some skin types can tolerate it easy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I think the word irritation is interesting, because things that can make a change on your skin by nature are going to irritate it to make that change. So the way you talk about irritate your skin is not necessarily a totally negative thing, Wayne, I think.
No.
So I mean, I personally do both, and I heard Madam Hirons the other day saying, Trinny says do microneedling and then put retinol on. That's wrong. Okay, but I was like, you know, it is that thing, listening to your own skin. You know,
yeah, I mean, you can have people use 4 or 5 different acids on their skin twice daily and have no negative reaction.
Yeah.
And there are people who can't do it once a week.
Exactly.
So micro rolling is great if your skin can tolerate it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Do you microneedle?
No, because I'm very, very lazy, and I literally wash my face at night because I remember to, and stick on Retinol, and that's it.
You see, I'm the opposite, because today, shall I just tell you what my routine was?
Go on.
I mean, I do this once a week, but then there's things I do nearly every other day. So in my bottom drawer here, I started off the morning with doing a new face challenge with my Face Gym Pro, because I'm asked so often which is better.
Face Gym Pro is real strong. The current.
It's real strong current. I thought this was better. I showed them my face and my audience thought that was better, but I think they got the left and right the wrong way round. Because in the picture, I think the other one looks better. Then
have you tried Zip?
What?
Have you tried Zip Beauty, a microcurrent conductor?
No, I so have not. Can you give me the information after this, please?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Have you tried this, baby?
Is that for hair removal?
No, this is radio frequency. So round and round and hot she goes.
Is it good?
I got to say, Wayne, I've had this treatment. I mean, I've had Teresa Tami give me fractional radio frequency, all right. But I've had at Face Gym, I've had radio frequency. This goes round and heats up, really heats up, Wayne. Like, if you didn't know what you were doing, I think it would heat up too much. For me, it's just going to my college and saying, wake the fuck up! You know, it really is. And my skin is particularly nice today, but I did that in Zoom meetings for about 20 minutes.
What brand is that?
It's called Newer. They're about 230 or 260, I think.
Well,
but
more than that,
it's worth looking at. As usual, Wayne, it comes with the shittiest product. I mean, like, so shit. And then it says, leave it on. And you're like, would I do that to my skin? But anyway, it's just a conductor. It's like also a New Face comes with this, which is just diabolical. Yeah, and then I ended up with that.
Oh, yeah.
Which I like more than, you know. So
I really like the light therapy masks. Yeah, I think they're underrated.
Yeah, I think they're great. I mean, I have a full-on Dermalux in the other room.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, I know where I need to live.
But I've got to say, it was such a joy meeting you properly, Wayne. It really was.
Thank you for this. It's so sweet.
I really want to come. I have a friend who lives in Wales, who you would love, actually. Quite a glamorous woman. And when I'm next visiting her, I'm going to come and knock on your door. Are you, which part of Wales, without giving too much away, but are you near Herefordshire or are you the other end?
No, I'm more near Herefordshire. I'm in the South Wales part. So okay. I'm probably 30 minutes from Herefordshire.
So are you near the Malvern Hills?
I would love to say yes, but I have absolutely no idea where that even is. So I'm just going to pretend and go, sure. I love it there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
But it was a joy. I know that they'd want to have you on so often, but it was just so lovely.
Thank you so much.
Somebody says, too bad I didn't let Wayne talk. Wayne,
you did? All I did was talk.
I know, but somebody said that and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Don't listen to them.
Well, no, but do you want to stop some more? Do you want to talk some more?
No, I don't. I mean, I could talk to you all day, but I think I've done the most of the speaking.
Navy wife, would you like to ask Wayne a question? Because she feels I talk too much. So, Navy wife, would you ask Wayne a question you would like answered?
You're so sweet.
I know, but I hate to see a comment afterwards that somebody felt they didn't get what they wanted from it. So, so Navy wife, come on, darling. Come on. Come on. She might come on. She might now not want to come on. Don't feel embarrassed at all. Come on. You know, it's easy. Oh, lots of questions. So many questions too, Wayne. Too. We will save the live, just so you know. Wayne, can you show, whilst Navy Wife Mice comes on, can you just show your things again and read out what they are? Because then people can know.
So this one is Super Goop, and it is the Unseen Sunscreen. Fabulous. Then there's either Dr. Sam Bunting Nightly Serum or Dermatica Full Strength Skin Stripper. Then there's Charlotte Tilbury, which is the Bella and Sophia palette. And then there is the gorgeous Dido, which is from Trinny London, stupid boy. And that is the glass-like highlighters. And they are the prettiest thing you can do to your skin.
I love you, thank you. The ladies asked about acne scars. So Brit Airways girl is saying she asked about acne scars. So it could be, Esme, can you see earlier if the lady, something navy, asked about acne scars? And she came on again. Let me just see. She was something navy. Can you see where
I wish there... Go on, so sorry.
What did she write, Esme?
What products can help to minimise acne scars?
Okay, Wayne, answer that question, darling.
I mean, you can exfoliate the skin, but if they are a true scar, it really is something that a dermatologist would almost certainly need to see and need to deal with, rather than you just wasting money on products that aren't really going to give you the result that you're looking for. Dermatologist, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what I did, Wayne, is when I got rid of my spots with Ractane for like a year, I then did a CO2 laser, but the old CO2 laser. But I had very bad scarring. And so that was really invasive, and I wouldn't recommend it. There is a new CO2 laser, which has a bit of downtime, about 4 or 5 days, but it's very good. I also think, because I've been doing with Teresa Tame, fractional radiofrequency around my mouth, and I feel that helps a lot. And then on the lightest load, I do recommend. I had a very sweet journalist, Marie Claire, beauty journalist, and I filled in her scar. But if I show you here, it's a scar, and I put on milk there. You know, because I did that for the areas where I felt I still had a few scars. So I know what it's like to have scars, because they're there and they're a different shape, and it's really can be tricky. But there are, you know, you could research all those 3 things, and one is short term, one is sort of mid-term, and one would be long term.
See, I'd love to go to a dermatologist and try all these different things, but then I just think, well, that means I've got to leave my house, and that means I've got to see someone. And I'll forget it, I'll stay indoors.
Darling, maybe one day I can pick you up in my car and just
Fabulous.
like take you to a couple of places.
Fabulous.
But what's unique about you, I think, is that you don't get influenced by the outside world, and you kind of then can be very...
Couldn't give a shit.
You can't give a shit, but also you can really think about why you do or don't love something. You're not, there's, you know, it's very nice not to be affected by the noise, and there's so much noise out there. It's like I never listen to anyone else.
I agree. It's like when you're in the beauty world, you can love a product without getting too far into the propaganda behind it.
Yeah.
And that's nice.
That's true. Very, very true. It was a joy, Wayne. Such a
Thank
joy.
you so much.
Thank you, darling. Take
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.